Hello and welcome back to my attic. So here's a project I've been putting off for a while. Not really looking too forward to it, seeing as it's a bit low down. I bought last year some insulation rolls. The plan is to insulate the floor ceiling of the bedrooms below this floor, but also to block off that space over there. So not really against the wind because the roof is airy, but the problem I'm having is that birds are nesting there, which I'm fine with, but instead of them going flying outwards, they fly into the attic. Last year I've had to rescue about 5 birds up here, swallows mostly, and one unfortunately I did not catch in time, or heard them flapping away, and I found later the bird had died, so I want to stop them coming into the attic, so all the way around, see if I put insulation just in the front, right tight up against the roof, and maybe I have to put a stone on so the insulation doesn't blow inwards, but I think it should be okay, and then we can hopefully prevent the birds from coming inside. Also, in case you're wondering why it's light over there, it's not open roof. It's a glass roof tile for natural light, same as over here. There are also some ventilation roof tiles like there, but the holes are quite big, so what I'm having is that wasps and bees are coming to make their nests as well. So another thing to do with some finer mesh, because the holes you can see are quite big. So there's a few little things to do, but as I said, working in the attic I have to keep watching my head, which most of the time you remember, but that one time you hit your head. I did put the hatch down over the stairs so that if I'm walking around I don't accidentally fall down the stairs. That would be bad news. There are also a few dead mice around. That's another issue. Hopefully with this fiberglass and fixing up some of the holes, maybe that will help against the mice too. There are currently also got the top of the wall here, it's all open to the garage, and in the garage it's pretty much free roaming for the mice. So we've got openings here, that one's pretty close, but the others are not so. They also need to be closed off better. This, I understand, if I correct, it used to be like a pigeonnier for pigeons coming up here and nesting or something like that. The old telegraph system with pigeon messengers, so that's why a lot of the old houses and barns, they have openings right at the top for pigeons, but I may be wrong with that. So I got 4 of them. So let's start. I've also got kind of expanding foam for that crack, because the crack, the stones do not touch the wall. This wall I think was added later, and it's not even bonded into the existing wall where the roof is leaning on, so got to fix that hole up, as that's another way for mice to get in. Because here's the chimney from downstairs, you can see that's brick. Alright, let's get going. Probably do the foam, the spray foam first, fill up the crack, and then we'll cut into the insulation, fill it in. Alright, so the expanding foam part is done. Still had some left over, so with the expanding foam you can never really save it for another day. You have to use it all in one go, so it's coming out a bit there, but don't touch it until it's dry, unless you got the gloves on, because it sticks to everything. And I've already removed my gloves, so I put a bit there, everywhere, this little blob of it. As I rebuilt those couple of stones that were loose with it. Now I can cut this Need another pair of gloves for that. With fiberglass, although it feels soft and it doesn't really do much. After a while it starts to really itch on the hands and the arms, so make sure to wear gloves and long sleeves. So going to do that. I also brought some mesh so we can cut out those holes for the ventilation and glue them in place with some neoprene. Hopefully that holds. It says interior exterior, so it should be waterproof. In theory there should not be any water coming here, so it's a matter of getting the shape and sticking it into place. I did already see somewhere a wasp flying around, so it really is a matter of time to get those all done so that we don't have any more unwanted visitors. Although, as I say, the roof is a bit holey, airy, so who knows what else we might get up here. Can always try our best. Right, I put a bit of mesh in, hopefully stuck it into place with some glue. Hopefully it stays, although probably in theory, because you can already see all the bits of light coming through the actual roof tiles. Over there you can see all those light. The roof is actually already pretty well ventilated and these extra ventilation holes are not needed, but at least in any case the wasps should no longer come in through there. Then on this side I actually had an active wasp nest situation, which I have resolved and put in some mesh and glued it into place. It's a bit hard to see there. It's not in the easiest to get to location, but still easier than what this one over here is. Here there was a large dried out nest, but luckily no inhabitants. But this one here is located directly behind this wooden beam, making it quite difficult, but I got it into place. Hopefully it's sufficient to keep them out. Otherwise, as I say, if it's still a problem, you can always put some foam directly into there, seeing as again we got plenty of ventilation coming through here and over there and plenty through there. So again, not really needed those ventilation tiles, but I hope it works. Now onto the least favorite part, cutting up some of the fiberglass and inserting it all in between the beams, pushed as far down as possible. Wish me luck. Alright, about an hour or so later, and all along the edge the insulation has been filled. You can no longer see any light coming through. Hopefully this will keep the birds out. Also did it all along the top edge. The foam has now dried out and it has expanded nicely and it's sealed in there. So wondering what foam did I use? Here's the can. It's just from the Action store, so it's $4.99 for a can, whereas buying it from the DIY store, the cheapest you can buy a lot of free for €23.99. So this works out a lot cheaper, and for up here it's fine. It's a bit slow drying, but it did dry out and it is quite firm now, so that should be good to go. So hopefully this has solved my bird issue. There is still plenty of space on the outside for the birds to nest, so they can still nest. They hopefully now they will no longer come inside accidentally. And my job here is done for now. The floor insulation, ceiling insulation will be another time. It's now all dusty here because of the fibers from the glass and the dust, so it's important to wear a mask and some gloves. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you all in the next project.